Hi, welcome to Denny's B-Blog. This is number 3. We're going to talk about honey. This is pure, unadulterated, raw honey. This is the first and oldest sweetener known to mankind. A teaspoon of honey has the same sweetening power as about 1.7 teaspoons of raw table sugar, sucrose, the stuff we use in our coffee and our tea all the time. Honey is the only food created by insects that has all the things needed for a human being to stay alive, including water. Honey is actually 17% water. Now, if you increase that percentage and add more water, your honey will start to ferment. And then you'll have mead, which is a subject for another post. But let's talk a little bit about honey. Chemically, 17% water, 38% fructose, which is fruit sugars, 31% glucose, which is what we use as energy, about 7 to 8% maltose and other disaccharides, and just a percent or two of sucrose, the table sugar we talked about earlier. 4% of it is other carbohydrates, and a few points of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. That's honey. But the important thing that you need to know is that it's 100% delicious. Let's talk just a little bit about chemistry. Glucose and fructose are monosaccharide sugars, the simplest unit of a carbohydrate. They're made up of one sugar unit. Now, when two monosaccharides, glucose or fructose, join together and a molecule of water is removed, they form a disaccharide, sucrose, table sugar. Glucose, which is our blood sugar, is the body's preferred energy source. It's our simplest sugar. Your body uses enzymes to process the other carbohydrates into glucose, which is either used immediately as energy or it's stored in your liver or muscle cells as glycogen. Now, insulin is secreted by your pancreas in response to elevated glucose, and that facilitates the entrance of the glucose into your cells, which creates the energy. That's as simple as it gets. Honey comes in many forms: liquid, crystalline, and in the comb. We're all familiar with the liquid honey that we buy at the supermarket. Some of us are familiar with crystalline honey, which is just as good, tastes just the same. Sometimes our honey crystallizes while it's sitting on the shelf. Don't throw it out. Simply put the jar into a pot of hot water, and in a few minutes, your honey will revert back to its liquid state. It's delicious. Honey also comes in different colors, ranging from glass clear to almost black. The difference primarily are the blossoms that the bees feed upon when they're collecting nectar. This lighter band of honey is from primarily clover, and the darker honey, as you see here, is primarily from wildflowers. The darker honeys also have higher levels of antioxidants and amino acids, something to keep in mind if you're eating honey for health. Ingesting honey helps to maintain calcium levels in the body. It counteracts the effects of alcohol. Provides quick energy. It's an anti-inflammatory. It stimulates tissue growth, promotes healing, especially on burns. Deters bacterial growth. Prevents scarring. It's antimicrobial. And it contains important amino acids and antioxidants, which, as I said, is higher in darker honey. So, how do bees make honey? It all starts with flower nectar, or honeydew. Nectar is nature's design to attract animals and insects in return for sexual favors, which we call pollination. Flowers are pollinated by birds, bees, flies, beetles, butterflies, moths, wasps, but by far, most crops are pollinated by honeybees. About 80% of the vegetables and fruits we eat are dependent upon honeybees for their pollination. Foraging bees collect nectar from flowers and store it in their honey stomach, where it mixes with beneficial bacteria and an enzyme, invertase. At the hive, the nectar is transferred to house bees, who add more bacteria and invertase, and by regurgitating the mixture onto their extended tongues, they evaporate the nectar until the water content is less than 18%, which prevents fermentation. The mixture is deposited into cells where enzymes and glucose oxidase convert glucose to gluconic acid and hydrogen peroxide, giving honey its antibacterial properties. The result is pure honey, which the bees cap with wax for long-term storage. Okay. You can help the bees in your neighborhood by planting more wildflowers. And you always want to make your bees happy. Happy Valentine's Day, honey.
Be mine.
Bye.